My name is Andy Thomas, and I play in Rivers of Nihil.
First of all, congratulations on this latest album. Phenomenal sound. Uh, what was the process like in for you guys to write this album?
It was largely collaborative. It took didn't take that long. Probably took about a year. I think we started in September of 2023. Yeah, September of 2023 or
Okay.
two. I don't know, 2023 or 2022. I don't remember. It's all the same now.
Yeah.
We just, I mean, between me and Brody, basically, there's just a lot of ideas flying around. Brody writes constantly, and yeah, it came together very easily. We have kind of similar musical tastes and musical sensibilities. Me, Brody, Biggs. Well, all four of us do. Um, so once it started flowing, it's pretty easy to find yourself with a new idea that you like and lots of ideas to develop it and stuff. And that started flowing for us pretty quickly and easily.
Awesome. Those middle tracks are very unique and they stand out. Water and Time has a very kind of dark wave element to it, and it's a very complex song. Why put those songs in the why put that song in the middle?
It just felt like a good spot for it between the Spare Church
Hmm.
and House of
Also,
Light.
like, yeah.
And you have the kind of nautical theme between the water and then the lighthouse and stuff, and that kind of fit together that way. The album starts, you know, with Suborbital Blues, which is I'd say like a heavier and
Hmm.
maybe a bit less melodically or it's less huge chorus wise and stuff. It's more like heavy and trotting. Um, and then you have Dustman and Criminals, which are kind of quicker, heavier songs. And I think that's a good spot for them to kind of show that you still do intend for the album to be very heavy.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, Despair Church, Water and Time, and House of Light. They kind of, to me, they feel not like one piece. It's not like that, but they definitely feel kind of intertwined to me energetically.
They definitely do. Those three tracks in particular seem to be kind of experimental for the band. It seems that you guys included some elements that aren't necessarily in previous tracks on previous albums. Why does the band continue to I guess evolve and experiment with their sound?
Well, I think particularly with Despair Church and House of Light, what you're hearing there is probably the fact that I was involved,
Mm.
um, particularly vocally. I think I have a pretty distinct voice.
Mhm.
I've described it as one that people either love or they hate, but it's definitely, you're getting my voice,
Mhm.
so that's definitely one way to kind of to. Create a vibe. Um, but we just kind of, as far as why write those things or why put those in there, you know, well, the short answer is that we just wanted to.
Okay.
Um, but I think it has a lot to do with, as you get older and stuff, you spent your whole youth just trying to play as fast as you can
Mhm.
or whatever, and then you realize that that's not really. There's a lot more to creating dynamic music than that.
Mhm.
But also, um, sounding good in a room, like in a concert hall,
Mhm.
whatever size, particularly larger ones, the slower, more mid-tempo stuff sounds way better
Mhm.
because it breathes and it blooms and stuff. If you're playing a million miles per hour, it really, I don't know, a lot of it gets lost and stuff.
Mhm.
So some of that I think comes definitely from live experience and knowing what will work and what won't.
Definitely. And even with the more purposeful music or thoughtful arrangements in these mid songs, you guys still embody what American death metal is.
Ah, cool.
What are influences that you have in writing this album? Was there any bands that you guys were listening to that kind of inspired some of these sounds?
I mean, for me, it would be different for each one of us for sure, because Brody and Biggs very much listen to a lot of music in general, a lot of newer music. They're always checking out newer stuff. I'm not so much like that.
Mhm.
Um, I tend to listen to a lot of stuff that is kind of the same stuff that I listened to growing up.
Mhm.
And that kind of Metallica, Pantera, Black Sabbath, but also like early 2000s extreme metal. So like Blackwater Park era
Mhm.
Opeth, Dimmu Borgir Puritanical and Death Cult Armageddon, uh, Meshuggah stuff from that era, um, just stuff like that. I don't listen to as much new music as I probably should.
Mhm.
It's funny. Oftentimes I'll go back and I've realized over the past couple of years how much I love Typo Negative. And
Yep.
as a youth, I kind of was just like, whatever. I don't really like that. And then, you get older and you become an adult and stuff. And now I hear that music and I'm like, it's like my favorite shit.
Mhm.
So that's kind of, I wouldn't say that was an inspiration on the album, but that's kind of how I consume music now, especially because a large portion, well, the complete portion of my musical life is Rivers of Nihil. So I'm listening to that, I'm learning that, I'm playing, I'm practicing that, I'm writing that. That's
Mhm.
what I do now.
Awesome. You guys have been around for about 20 years now. The music industry has changed so much in the last couple of years. The way music is put out is different. How do you continue to, evolve with the times and make sure that the fans are just as happy as you guys are with your music?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with you kind of have no choice but to embrace the digital age as
Hmm.
far as music goes, music consumption, music distribution, all of that. Like, you can bitch all you want about Spotify, and
Hmm.
you'd be right to, but it's not going to change anything. That's a monolith.
Hmm.
So you have to kind of accept the fact that people's attention spans are a lot shorter because of these things, you
Hmm.
know, um, and that a lot of times people aren't going to consume your music the way that you intend to, because we still very much do intend to put out albums to be digested, um, the way that we order them in the sequence of the tracks that we put out. But people aren't necessarily going to do that, and I think the short answer to your question is you just have to accept that things are the way they are. Um, and as long as you're playing shows that more and more people are attending and selling more merch and whatever else, you can figure it out, and that's the case for us thus far, and knock on wood, and we're very thankful for that.
Awesome. And continuing forward, I'm sure you would like to take this album on tour and play the songs live. How
Hmm.
different is the energy and the vibe when you're playing live as opposed to when you're recording in studio?
Oh, it's completely different. Um, in the studio, it's very much like the focus is on getting the right take and watching the songs and melodies develop into hopefully the best possible outcome. But playing live, your focus is on a good performance, but it's a little different because you're also focused on um, entertaining an audience and getting some type of energetic exchange with them, and that's what makes a live show fun. When you have a bunch of people standing there with their arms crossed and they
Hmm.
hate you, not very fun. So the focus of the live thing is to kind of cultivate some energy that you can get back and that the audience can receive from you. And then that's when you get off stage and you go, oh man, that was a good one.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. What is the feelings you get when you hear fans, echoing your song back to you?
it's a cool feeling. It's very surreal because like, you know, we're all fans of music since, since I can remember,
Mhm.
so to play in another country and to have people singing your songs and stuff, it's yeah, surreal is the word. Very cool. Um, and even on your worst days, you can kind of look at that and go, wow, a lot of people don't get that with their lives.
Definitely.
Very,
And
it's a very cool thing.
cool. Rivers of Nile, when do you guys start to write the next album or even consider, what the next album will sound like?
I mean, we already have ideas flowing. We constantly have ideas flowing. Um, I mean, this year is full of touring. So I would say probably beginning of next year we'll do the concerted effort to start figuring out what's going to happen. But I mean, we're constantly cultivating ideas. Brody and I have even started arranging songs and stuff, so that never really stops. It's just, between touring, there's not a ton of time for that.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on this album once again. Phenomenal listen from beginning to end. And thank you very much for your time.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.